This is Analog Brass and Winds by Output. It's a virtual instrument for those who want something more unconventional from their brass and wind sounds. Here at Output, we're breaking from tradition by blurring the line between orchestral sounds and legendary synths to give you next-level air. Let's listen to some of the presets to give you an idea. As you can hear, we've packed tons of variety into our sounds. To help you find just the right preset, you can click on one or multiple tags within the browser page to narrow down your options from our 500 presets. Moving to the main page, you'll see we've got Output's intuitive, easy-to-use workflow paired with our signature aesthetic. Here you'll find the most important parameters at your fingertips, including the sound source, layer volume, tune, and the 4 macros that are unique to each of the 500 presets. Move the macros with a mouse or by assigning them to your controller. You have the freedom to bend these sounds every which way, so feel free to consider our presets as starting points. Clicking here will allow you to access the Sound Source menu, where you can piece together or change a sound with just a couple clicks. As you might know from a few of Output's other products, sources are broken down by category. First, we have the orchestral sources. At the beautiful BMC Concert Hall in Budapest, we recorded an 18-piece brass section, an 18-piece wind ensemble, plus a number of individual sections. We captured sustains, staccatos, trills, rips and swells, lush textures, and more, all of which are ready to be manipulated and modulated into something new. What's cool to note is you have the option to choose between a close or far microphone position. Selecting close will effectively shift the orchestral mix closer to you. Choosing far will shift the mix to the room mics, giving you a much bigger sound. Next we have the synth sources, which are all sampled from iconic vintage analog synthesizers. Here you'll find big brassy tones, sounds with filter movement, and much more. Blend these classic synths to give your sounds a unique bite. Finally, here are the creative sources. We like to let our imagination run wild when coming up with these. For our creative sources, we recorded unconventional and weird brass and woodwind techniques. We ran the raw sounds through vintage spring reverbs, tape echoes, and all sorts of crazy gear. We even recorded pianos, a pump organ, and a beer bottle, you know, for its sound. Anyway, here's a note. The 3 sources we just went through are then broken down by type: one-shots, pads, and tape loops. So altogether, there are 90 multi-sampled dynamic sources to work with. When creating your own sound, try and experiment by blending elements together that you might not expect would work. Sometimes, these surprises turn out to be the best stuff. Moving on, the edit page is where you can quickly modify important features like amp and pitch ADSR, pan, stereo spread, pitch flutter, and both monophonic and legato modes. For power users, head to the Advanced tab for additional options. When using orchestral sources, you'll notice the left and right toggle switch appear. This panning tool will flip the layout of the orchestra, effectively swapping where the players sit in the room. Now, this is one of our hidden gems. Check out the color option, which gives you more flexibility with the timbre of the sound. Macro sliders will appear on the upper right corner once you've navigated away from the main page, allowing full control no matter what page you're on. The effects page is categorized by layer and global effects. The layer tab includes filter, EQ, distortion, that's tube, drive, and lo-fi, as well as compression, delay, and reverb. The global effects page has the same effects and motion, including a phaser and chorus effect. This is super useful. On the Effects tab is a power icon that either completely enables or disables all layer and all global effects with one button. You'll find the same on-off buttons for the rhythm and arpeggiator pages. The rhythm page is an in-depth place to add modulation. Each layer has 2 rhythm tabs, so you can add intricate or insane rhythms to your sound. Just go to a slider and move up or down. On the bottom of the rhythm section, you can choose between an LFO waveform and a step sequencer pattern to trigger these rhythms. We also have a bunch of patterns and shapes to choose from. In addition, we've included Output's Flux mode to further customize your rhythms. To use it, simply turn on Flux for any given rhythm tab, and the rate for that rhythm will now be controlled by the sequence. You can access that right here. You can dial in interesting rhythms by selecting the rate and number of repetitions for each step in the sequence. Just so you know, you'll have up to 8 variations of rates to cycle through. Slow down the entire Flux sequence by half, or double the speed. If all these rhythm settings seem a little too much to dig into at first, Analog Brass and Winds comes with over 20 rhythm presets to get you in the swing of things. The rhythm presets include all rhythm and flux settings, while leaving your current modulation send amounts intact. As a bonus, we've matched these to the rhythm presets of our last engine, Analog Strings. That way you can sync the rhythms between both the products. The arpeggiator page consists of 2 arpeggiators, one for each layer, which can turn your sound from this to this, or something like this. Pedal allows you to choose whether the lowest note or highest note gets repeated every other note. You also have a variety of patterns to choose from, which can be edited further to fit your sound. Like other output products, you can edit your macro sliders by entering macro edit mode. Here you can assign and remove parameters, or change macro amounts for each. All you do is click a macro name and then choose a parameter. Then on the main page, you can adjust the range and direction. At any point, you can exit out of macro edit mode by clicking the exit button. Need a little help from our team? Click on the help icon at the top bar for an explanation of the current page you're on. For those who want to dive in deeper, you can find the full Analog Brass and Winds manual here. We hope you've enjoyed this walkthrough of Analog Brass and Winds, or at least learned a thing or two. If you want to hear some more presets, audio examples, or see some cool videos with artists we love, head over to output.com.